Hello everybody and welcome here to Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park for this historic first-time matchup between Oakland Roots Sports Club taking on New Mexico United. We're going to step aside and we'll be right back with pregame. The 2021 New Mexico United season is presented by Sandia Resort and Casino. Close to home, far from ordinary. My name's Tyler Ortega, joined alongside Chris Hurst for this first-time matchup between Oakland and New Mexico. Chris, but before we get to the action on the field, the headlines from the black and yellow over the past few days coming off the field, Chris. New Mexico announcing the re-signing of Chris Wehan.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a busy week off the field. Obviously, the stadium announcement passing the first hurdle there, and big news with Chris Wehan returning to the squad. A team that, there's no secret, they've struggled to score goals, and what an addition this could be for the remainder of the season.
Chris Wehan, the first number 41 in New Mexico United history. Obviously, his typical number 14 taken by Ilya Illich. Let's have a look now at tonight's players to watch, brought to you by Lumen Optimal Wellness. Enjoy a healthier body and mind today for the visitors, Chris. It's the 27-year-old keeper. He's making his third straight start. Paul Blanchette, the Palo Alto native, played at RGV last season, made 10 appearances, had 1 clean sheet.
Yeah, 5 games so far this season. 1 clean sheet, as you said, and that was against August 11th versus Sac Republic. 18 saves. He's only conceded 1 goal in the last 2 games, so hit a little run of form here.
And on the other side for New Mexico, it is Armando Moreno. He is tied for the team lead in goals. He scored 3 times so far this season, most recently scoring here at the Lab versus El Paso just 4 days ago on Meow Wolf night in the 33rd minute. It was the left-footed strike that saw New Mexico go ahead. Of course, eventually El Paso would equalize. Moreno, he's going to be looking to get it done here tonight.
Yeah, and it's almost like another new signing, right? With Wehan coming in, Moreno missed so many games because of the Gold Cup, and Moreno's goal on Saturday broke the 3-game goalless streak for New Mexico United, so a huge relief for the team and for Moreno himself.
We're going to step aside here for just a moment. We'll have lineups and kickoff when we return.
B-Dub's new crispy hand-breaded classic chicken sandwich plus fries for $5.99 is made live in a real-life sports bar with live, non-virtual friends. This is real life. So real it's $5.99 for a limited time. Buffalo Wild Wings.
In the 2019 Reader's Choice Awards from the Albuquerque Journal, Sandia Resort and Casino was voted Albuquerque's favorite casino. Best customer service, best entertainment venue, best slot machines and poker room, best variety of table games, best rewards program, and best golf course. Best buffet, favorite nightclub, favorite casino. Albuquerque, you deserve the best. Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary.
I'm not a passenger. I'm a pilot.
In training?
Yeah, in training. My dad taught me to fly. To fire the burner, read the wind, and plot a course over our home, the land of enchantment. Are we still in New Mexico?
Getting late, but your crew is just getting started. Head to B-Dubs for 50% off this loaded lineup of tots, chips, and ultimate nachos. But wait, how's beer for just $3? There's officially something for everyone, even that friend whose curfew is 10 p.m. Late night at Buffalo Wild Wings.
We are back at the lab. Kickoff just moments away. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on the call here this evening. Let's have a look at the starting 11 presented by Michelob Ultra. First off, Chris, for the home side, the black and yellow remains unchanged from what we saw just 4 days ago against El Paso. It's Devin Sandoval leading the line. You've got the midfield anchored by Guzman and Andrew Tenari, but again, all eyes on Justin Schmidt.
Yeah, no surprise, went toe-to-toe with El Paso Locomotive, the runaway train in the Western Conference here, and kept them scoreless until the 96th minute, which was obviously heartbreak. Great motivation going into tonight.
And on the other side, it's a 4-2-3-1 for Oakland Roots. We see Brandon Allen leading the line. Quincy Amarikwa, Chris, is one to keep an eye on. The 10-year MLS veteran picked up an assist in his first game with Roots just a few days ago.
Yeah, no surprise again that he's been added to this group to add some offensive power to them, because lowest scores in the entire USL Championship with 10 goals so far this season. And he's going to be a handful for New Mexico United tonight.
We are underway here at the lab. It is the first meeting all time between Oakland Roots and New Mexico United. As we start things off here, Roots in the white-on-white kits, New Mexico United in the all-black Meow Wolf kits this evening. Meow Wolf night was just a couple of nights ago here at the lab, Chris, where we saw New Mexico, who's typically in black and yellow, donning some kits that we're seeing basically right now that look like Oakland Roots. Yeah,
but I mean, special shout out, at least the New Mexico United kits had numbers on that you could see. I'm glad that you've got, I've got like 10 years on you, Tyler, so at least you'll be able to pick out all the numbers for us.
Starting off here, this is Takahashi. Finds Fasore in the midfield, and he'll play it back to Clementa. It's been an interesting first season for Oakland Roots, Chris. Just 2 wins on the year so far. Picking up their second win just a few days ago against LA Galaxy 2 over in Oakland Merritt College. That was their third home field in their last 5 games, so got to be tough to get acclimated at that point.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's no secret. It's been a struggle, and it shows in the results, right? 2 wins all season, both against LA Galaxy 2, interestingly. But, you know, is this the start of a little run of form? They've gone a tie and a win, so really interesting.
Justin Schmidt stepping in to thwart the shot attempt, but now eventually given away by Suggs. Tenari has to come in to clean up once more. Nearly looked like Brandon Allen was going to get a shot on goal there.
Yeah, a little misunderstanding there between Yearwood and Suggs. Yearwood thought he was going to clear it. Suggs wanted to try and play out of pressure there. Probably looks like maybe there was a little lack of communication. Got away with it, though.
Here's Takahashi. Being chased by Moreno. Eventually spreads that out. This is Enriquez. Tried to play it back. Had it stolen away by Rashid Tete. Here comes Moreno. There's the captain, Josh Suggs. Both of these teams, Chris, love to sit in possession. It's going to be interesting to see the way that this shakes out tonight.
Yeah, and that was the surprise from Saturday from a New Mexico United standpoint. Obviously, they had lion's share, especially in the first half, of possession against El Paso Locomotive. El Paso Locomotive, another team that loves to possess the ball. And New Mexico United actually did really well with it, created lots of chances. There was a definite change in tempo on Saturday and a change in mentality going forward. And obviously, they'll be hoping to build on that tonight.
Yearwood plays it forward for Suggs. Here's Guzman. They're going to chip that forward for Sandoval, who goes to ground. It falls to Moreno. He's still got it at his feet. Here's Moreno, left-footed, and it's blocked. And we are going to see our first Bank of America corner kick here this evening. So we have a look at the Garcia Automotive Group keys to the game. Stay disciplined in possession, consistent chance creation, and most importantly, Chris, finish the game.
Yeah, we know what that last one's about. Obviously, the 96th minute, the corner was actually given in the 96th minute. It was 96th minute and change. And last kick of the game, literally kicked off, and that was the end of the game. Absolute heartbreak for New Mexico United on Saturday.
Tenari to send the corner in, plays it low, and it finds the feet of Quincy Amarikwa. A little too much weight on that through ball there, looking for Enriquez as United come back in possession. Here's Schmidt. You can see the left-footed center back with a brilliant through ball for Moreno. He's got options in the box, decides to keep it himself, cuts it back, left foot, and he lays it off for Tenari. And now Suggs has a go, and Blanchette forced to make a save.
Moreno looks lively in the early going here. We obviously talked about him before the game, playing really well off Devon Sandoval in the first chance earlier on there, and then this one, just a little misread by the Oakland Roots defense. Ball over the top, playing on the shoulder. He played a lot on the shoulder of El Paso on Saturday, carrying that on tonight.
There you can see it's another Bank of America corner kick with over 4,600 locations. Convenient banking is just around the corner. Here's Tenari playing that in, looking for Sandoval, and it looks like Blanchette got in there to disrupt. Najim will play it back in, and it's Devon Sandoval finding the back of the net in the 6th minute. That is his 3rd goal of the season, Chris, and the black and yellow take the lead.
Ominous signs here for Oakland Roots. It's been all New Mexico United so far. Made that pressure pay early on in the game here. 6th minute. Oakland Roots Blanchette does really decent in the first instance, in the first phase of the corner. Clears the box, which you love to see your goalkeeper doing coming out there. But then they don't deal with it in the second phase. Great ball back in by Najim, and Sandoval. Looked like he was almost all alone in there.
And Sandoval, as we mentioned, finding the back of the net for the 3rd time this season. And as you said, it was just Najim flying in, putting that on a rope. If Sandoval doesn't get to that, Tete is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was the closest mark, right? You can just see as the Oakland Roots players are stepping out, they're not picking their men as they step out there. So Sandoval just left completely wide open, 6 yards out. He doesn't miss those chances.
Goals are brought to you by T-Mobile. T-Mobile has Devon Sandoval covered. 1-0 to the home side. Early in this one. Now, this isn't unfamiliar territory for Oakland Roots, Chris. They found themselves down 1-0 to Los Dos early in the first half on Saturday. They came back to win 2-1 in that one, although Galaxy were down to 10 men for majority of that match.
Yeah, 10 men, but it was unbelievable in terms of how the goals came about. 2 goals in the space of 45 seconds, something like that. So unbelievable turnaround, whether it's 10 men or not. I mean, look at New Mexico United. They were playing against 10 men on Saturday, and the 10 men came back and tied it up at the end. So it's not a given when the other team's gone down to 10 men, but I'm sure that had some effect on the game.
It's a good look at Enriquez there. Enriquez played with Reno last year. Also spent time with RGV, San Antonio as well. Amarikwa lays that one off. Here comes Hernandez, looking to chip that forward for Allen, but Alex Tambakis out to grab that one.
See Amarikwa, he's talking to his defenders, just telling them just to calm down. He maybe doesn't appreciate the ball into his chest under so much pressure, but at the same point, he managed to keep the ball. He's so strong, and he can obviously do that. You know, he can play as that target forward if he needs to, but he prefers the ball into his feet. Can he get the ball into his feet, turn and run at defenders?
Tete plays the long pass forward for Moreno, who does well to hold off the defender, and Moreno goes to ground, wins the Fiesta Auto Group free kick. That is the first foul we've seen this evening.
Moreno was loving that matchup. It's the same matchup earlier on where the defender just misjudged it a little bit, and he's forced to give the foul away this time.
It's Troy Lesane, the head coach, technical director here at New Mexico United in his 3rd season. Tenari looking to play that one through for Sandoval, but Green is there to play it back to Blanchette, now given away. Guzman for Suggs. He's got the overlapping run of Yearwood. Yearwood plays the cross in for Sandoval. Looking for the brace is the Albuquerque native. And Blanchett had to come up big.
What a save. Not an easy save to make either. He was completely going the wrong direction. Manages to change his momentum almost while in the air and pull off the save. Great save.
Here we go again. Suggs has that one cut out by Green. So another Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up here. For as tough as results have been to come by for Roots, Chris, they have 10 points on the season entirely, but 4 of those points coming in just the last week. So, you can look at the record, but realistically it's the form, right?
No, yeah, and that's it. And momentum is everything. And yeah, they'll be coming into the building pretty confident right now. Winning a tie in the last 2 games. Yeah, it hasn't gone well to start the first half of the season. 14 games in, they haven't played as many games as New Mexico United. In terms of stats, like goals conceded, it's not too dissimilar from New Mexico United either. But yeah, last 2 games has to have given them some confidence. And who knows? That the back end of the season, there's still a lot of points to play for.
David Najam, who's, I'm sure, happy to make his return to New Mexico after playing the 2020 season in black and yellow. Re-signed on July 28th. He was actually the first mid-year signing in United history, Chris, and as we can see, they weren't done after that. Ball played across for Suggs on the far side. Here's Josh Suggs, Las Cruces native, tried to cross that in, and it was blocked by Akeem Ward. That is Jordan Farrell, the interim head coach at Oakland Roots. Valfall plays it in for Hernandez in the center circle. Back to Green. Clementa for Takahashi, and he gets it right back. Long ball looking for Brandon Allen and Tambakis. No issues there.
I feel Oakland Roots have got to be a little more patient in possession. You can see everyone talking to each other on the field there, telling everyone to calm down. Too quick going back to front there. If you're New Mexico United, you're delighted that they just keep lumping balls up top right now because it's not working. There's no way denying it. So they have to be more patient. Can they play through the lines? But that gap between the midfield and the back 4 is huge, and New Mexico United are just absolutely having their way in there right now.
Najam finds Armando Moreno. Turns atop the 18. Moreno has a strike. And right into the waiting hands of Paul Blanchett. Let's have a look at tonight's Ben Sherman Law injury report. Injured at work. Ben Sherman can help. We see 3 names on the list for New Mexico, Chris. It is the aforementioned Kalen Ryden. Of course, Sam Hamilton still out indefinitely. But the new addition to the list, Big Phil, the backup keeper.
That was another announcement after, pretty late on today, right? The signing, first professional contract signing for the backup goalkeeper here, where obviously it meant that you had to change all your all your spotting board and everything, right? Palmquist, former DU player, and great opportunity for him. Watched him in warm-up, looks really sharp, especially with his feet.
And he's a guy he's been trialing with the club over the past few months, so it's not like he's coming in fresh. He's already built that chemistry with the guys in training. So again, like you said, great opportunity for the guy. Palmquist, as you said, he's out of Denver University, had 3 clean sheets in 2020, posted a 6-2 record, only conceded 5 goals in 7 matches, did Palmquist. And while you're excited for the new signing, I'm sure if you're a New Mexico United fan, you're hoping you don't have to see him between the sticks tonight.
Well, what a great person to be like understudy for, though, as well, with Tambakis. The amount of experience he has, passing that on to someone who's fairly new to the game.
Sandoval hits a low-driven ball, looking for the near side post, but Blanchett earning his paycheck so far.
Yeah, he's been a busy boy. It's right now, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when for New Mexico United. When will they get that second goal, unless something changes pretty drastically with Oakland Roots? Just too easy for New Mexico United to play, like I say, in that space in front of their back 4, in front of Oakland Roots' back 4. Far too much space to play in right now.
Ward tried to play that forward for Allen, and That foul is going to be called against Quincy Amarikwa. Austin Yearwood goes down on the pitch. Let's have a look at that TLC replay here. You can see Yearwood just beats Amarikwa to the ball.
Yeah, Amarikwa just letting him know he's there. He's not going to have it all his own way. Like I say, he's a very powerful player. So Austin Yearwood will feel that one.
Tete. Tete's making his 9th start here on the season this evening. Finds Suggs. Back for Yearwood now. Yearwood's got 1 goal on the season. It's the goal of the week winner, actually, in week 9. We saw him bang one in from atop the 18 against San Antonio here at the Lab.
With his weak foot, no less. I was going to say, if you're going to score 1 goal all season so far, and that's it, that's not a bad one.
His first career professional goal at that comes in his 3rd season. Najum flicks it forward, gets it back from Sandoval. They were the two that combined for the opener here in the 6th minute as Moreno is beaten to the ball, but able to see that out for a throw-in. That is Amando Moreno. Making his 10th start here on the season tonight. Goes into Sandoval here.
No denying that New Mexico United really missed Armando Moreno when he was with El Salvador at the Gold Cup. A completely different beast. The offense for New Mexico United, a completely different beast when he's involved in the attack.
Najum has space here on the near side, goes back to Tenari. Well, and you could see it was at times almost painful to watch if you're a United supporter, as Amarikwa called for the foul once again, and that is not a good sign if you're a United supporter. You already have Justin Schmidt deputizing for Kalen Ryden. Last thing you want to see is Schmidt get hurt as well. He seems to be okay. He's trying to run it off. As I was saying, the lack of creativity in the offense without Moreno, it was like you were watching a completely different team.
Yeah, he's got that X factor. He can make something out of very little, which is something that New Mexico United didn't have. They were too obvious.
Sandoval looking for the through ball there from Tenari. Just a little too much weight on that from the New Yorker. Tenari, he leads the team in assists this season. He's got 4 to his name. It's also good enough to be tied for 11th in all of USL Championship. Rivas looking to play that forward for Suggs, and he wins the foot race, crosses it in. Blanchette is there. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Hakeem Ward. Enriquez has that one poked away. Here comes Sandoval. Finds Rivas. Back to Sandoval. Now Guzman. Looking to spread that wide. He finds Suggs on the far side. Suggs again. Cross goes in, nobody home. Takahashi there to meet that one. United, however, dispossess Roots. Najum crosses in, Sandoval! And that got the crowd on their feet. It was blocked, and in fact, the offside flag was up, but Devin Sandoval looking for the brace early on.
Looking for the brace with the bike, and that always gets the crowd on their feet. I remember last season we were up in Colorado Springs, and he threw one exactly the same, which was called back for offside as well. But anytime that opportunity comes up, you know Devin Sandoval's eyes light up because he knows what he's going to line up right there.
Sandoval, the Albuquerque native, the first signing in New Mexico United history, scored the first goal in New Mexico United history, scored the first playoff goal in United history, and tonight's goal adding further to his tally. He is the club's all-time leading scorer. He has 20 goals through his first 3 seasons. Suggs. It's time for the magic minute here, Chris, and while it's not the 10,500 that we saw here against El Paso, still a very good crowd for a Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, first full week of school for a lot of people, public school here in Albuquerque. It's it's impressive that there's this many, die-hard fans have turned up on a Wednesday night here.
There's obviously multiple reasons for that. One, people just love this team. I think we've seen this fan base is so eager to support any chance they get, but then you sprinkle in the return of a few former players, and Chris Wehan, of course, on the other side, Salih Muhammad, who's on the roster for Oakland Roots, not in the 18 here this evening, but he did make the trip down to Albuquerque. You know, a lot of people are excited about, I guess, getting the band back together.
No, for sure, and that's it. It's going to be interesting. I'm sure we're going to see Chris Wehan at some point during the game with all the fanfare of his signing the last 24, 48 hours. So I'm sure we're going to see him at some point, and it'll be great to hear what reception he gets.
Moreno tried to lay that one off for Tenari. It just gets away. Well, and speaking of Wehan, he played obviously at Orange County here this season, where he had 4 goals, 3 assists. He led the team with 26 chances created, as you would assume Bees would do. But Bees, he played against Oakland Roots just 3 weeks ago out at Laney. He was subbed off in the 57th minute. It was a 3-0 win for Orange County.
He was asked this week, he was in the press conference yesterday, and he was asked if he'd given any tips to the coaching staff, and quite smartly he gave all the props to his new, old coaching staff and said that their scouting report was absolutely spot on. He had nothing else to add.
It's a great question asked, by the way.
I'm guessing that was you then.
Schmidt finds Guzman in the midfield. Here's Tenari. Moreno is begging for it. Finds Rivas. Rivas just sitting in the channel there between the center back and the right back, Akeem Ward. Ward plays that up for Amarikwa. America puts Josh Suggs on his tail. Might have gotten away with one there. Schmidt scoops it forward, looking for Najum. The Afghan international does well to bring that down, and now scoops it forward for Sandoval, but Green is there to head that away. There is Chris Wehan. As we mentioned, the second leading scorer in New Mexico United history. Played his college soccer across the street from the lab here. Put in 4 years at the University of New Mexico, earning all conference honors each year for the Lobos. Here's Rivas, plays it forward, Sandoval. Guzman. Rivas turns. Moreno now. Sandoval. Top of the 18. Plays it out. Suggs. Left-footed crosses in. Blanchette looks like he just got a fingertip on that. Ball's not out of danger yet as Najum played that one across, but Akeem Ward does enough to see it out.
Little better defending there from Oakland Roots, you could see. First ball into the box, they defended pretty well. It was Blanchett again, gets a touch on it, but that second phase, they were scrambling a little bit. It's as they turn around to face the ball on the other side, they have to pick up their men and make sure that there's no open guys when they're focused so heavily on the ball. Interesting, going back to Chris Wehan. He scored 4 goals this season. Devin Sandoval just joined the 3-goal club for New Mexico United. That's the highest. So technically, Wehan has scored more goals this season than anyone on the New Mexico United roster. He just hasn't scored them for New Mexico United.
Right. Well, and one thing we know about Chris Wehan and Devin Sandoval is that they love scoring goals, especially here at the lab. And that was something that Wehan talked about in yesterday's press conference. He said, I can't wait to get back there and to score in an atmosphere like that. When he was talking about Moreno's goal on Meow Wolf Night, he says, I know what that's like to score in front of the curse, in front of 10,500 people. And frankly, it's addicting when you're a player.
Yeah, I mean, there's no better feeling. Absolutely no better feeling. A feeling that I didn't have very often at all, but I can imagine it's a great buzz. But yeah, I mean, and obviously, like I said, the circumstances with Moreno's goal made that celebration all the more special. But I'm sure Chris Wehan can't wait until the first Saturday game that's coming up here and get where it's going to be a packed house, because I'm sure next, the reason why the crowd is so low tonight is because of the circumstances going on with family lives and things like that. So he'll be ready for his first home game where the lab is rocking.
Sandoval looks to play that through for Moreno, but it's cut out. Moreno gets it back. He's got Fall on his back. Moreno now with the left foot, and it's into the waiting arms of Paul Blanchett.
That chance is all about Tenari. Just reads the pass, gets the press right, just nicks the ball in midfield there, feeds Moreno, and Moreno has one thought in his mind. He's not looking for teammates. He's, how can I create a chance for myself?
And looking here at the numbers live, Chris, it's 6 total shots for New Mexico compared to 0 for Roots. 5 of those 6 for the black and yellow on target. Looking for Moreno.
Yeah, it has.
And the offside flag is up.
It's been one-way traffic. There's no denying that. I mean, Oakland Roots have kind of got a little foothold in the game now, where they've stopped the bleeding. But now they need to work out how are they going to create chances. We said in the keys to the game about chance creation. That was about New Mexico United. Oakland Roots have to find a way to test Tambakis. He's touched the ball, I think, twice. Both times have been with his feet playing out from the back.
I'm sure as a keeper, you're always thankful for nights like that, rather than seeing your counterpart on the other side who's having to make a save seemingly every 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, but the other side of that is Tambakis has to find a way to stay concentrated and remain focused, because he is going to be called into action at some point, and he has to be able to do what he needs to do in those moments.
Tambakis has just been tremendous for New Mexico this season. He's got 5 clean sheets so far, which is tied for 3rd in all of USL Championship. Rivas unable to keep that one in play. That is the Athenian goalkeeper. Played in the Panathinaikos youth system while growing up in Greece. Fun fact, he was the first signing in Atlanta United history, Alex Tambakis. He was then immediately loaned out to North Carolina FC. Takahashi looking for Amarikwa. Off the volley, and Tambakis is there, but the offside flag is up. That's going to be the first shot on target on the evening for Oakland Roots. Najum heads that forward for Moreno. And now you're starting to see it a little bit more, Chris. You can see just the fluidity in the offense here with United as Suggs plays this one to the near post looking for Sandoval. But there were times, Chris, in matches past where the offense, they looked defunct. But now it seems like Najum's back. You've got Moreno back. Sandoval's firing on all cylinders. Then you're able to add in these guys like Sergio Rivas. You see Tenari coming into form. Guzman's playing as good as he ever has. It's just clicking for Troy Lesesne.
Yeah, and you know, the word last week or Saturday was chemistry, and you can see that chemistry is starting to build, which is an interesting problem for Coach Lesane to have, because obviously he's going to want to get Chris Wehan into this lineup somewhere. So it's where does he fit? Where does he give the most to the team? Where does he improve the team the most? So that's going to be an interesting conundrum there. But yeah, you can certainly see it. Those, it's not the front two that you normally talk about, or the front three. It's the front six attacking players where they're all involved in the rotation that New Mexico United has in its midfield, where if one goes, and it's not always the same guy who's breaking from midfield. You know, Guzman can get involved in the attack, and Tenari just slides in there. So they're so hard to pick up because the runs come from all over the place.
Marikwa wins the free kick, and it's a Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up here. Akeem Ward will deliver here for Roots. So there's Guzman. Actually, it's going to be Hernandez delivering. Jose Hernandez gives the signal. Roots looking to find the equalizer here at the half-hour mark. Going up, and it was Marikwa who looked to have gotten first contact on that, but just didn't connect cleanly.
No, but you can see, you know, ball in the box. He had 4 New Mexico United defenders around him. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the tallest guy in the world. And he still gets, like you said, first contact on it. And you know, Tambakis has a save to make. It was a comfortable save, and he'll take it if that's what he has to do tonight, those kind of chances. But a little warning there where, like you say, Oakland are starting to get a little foothold in the game here. Starting to, and now that's 2 chances. Yes, one was offside, but that's 2 chances in the last 4 or 5 minutes there.
Vol fall. Hernandez back out for Fisore. Takahashi cuts it in. Takahashi here on the right foot. Plays it out to Green. Ward now crossing into the top of the 18. Guzman does well to poke that back to the center circle. Clementa. Emra Clementa spent last season with San Diego Loyal. Also spent time with LA Galaxy, Sacramento, Reno. Was signed to Roots on June 5th. It's been a mainstay in their back line since. Here's Clementa. August is USL Supporters Month, and we want to hear from you. Visit uslchampionship.com/supporters-month for more information on how you can get involved and have a chance to be featured as the Supporter of the Week. Fall. Here's Hernandez. Turns, finds Enriquez. Enriquez taken out from behind by Andrew Tenari. And Tenari will concede the foul. Dangerous area here for Roots.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of the goal. Going to be real interesting to see whether it's a right or left footer taking this, but very dangerous area. Expect a shot on target here. Another thing for Alex Tambakis to say.
Beautiful night here in Albuquerque. 72 degrees. Humidity abnormally high, Chris, at 60%. There was a storm that rolled through the area just a couple of hours ago, contributing to that. But all in all, it's a gorgeous night here.
Yeah, it certainly is. But yeah, I'm glad those storms got out of here, because there was a period there where we were worried that we might actually get a little delay.
Vol fall. Just measuring this one up here. Out of Frankfurt, Germany. Previously played for St. Louis FC. And here comes Fall. Strikes it, and it bangs it in! Upper 90 Fall with the equalizer in the 34th minute, and that quiets the Lab.
What a strike that was. You could probably put 2 goalkeepers. That was so far in the top corner. 2 goalkeepers, and that might have still gone in. Tambakis, he must be looking at what do you have to do? He's been so quiet, such a quiet evening. We said it was a dangerous free kick, and he steps up and absolutely picked that out.
And from what I can see, that is his first club goal for Fall. As we have another look here at this TLC replay, strikes it beautifully, and it goes off the hand of Tambakis. That is a tough break for the Greek keeper. But as you said, when it's hit that beautifully, very little the keeper can do.
Yeah, there was plenty of pace on it, a little spin on it as well. But now, seeing it back, I thought it was in the top corner. I didn't realize he got a touch. Tambakis will probably want that one back. I think, maybe does he go with his wrong hand? If he goes with his other hand, is he able to tip that over the bar? But yeah, I mean, once you get that good a hand onto it, I know Alex Tambakis will want that one back.
And from a coaching standpoint, Chris, how does this change things? Obviously, if you're New Mexico, you're dominating the lion's share of possession so far this match with just about 55%. You were sitting comfortably. Roots really hadn't posed any threats, but you see Tenari gives up a dangerous free kick, and Fall converts. What's the message now if you're Troy Lesesne?
They have to get back to what was going on at the start of the game. Like we said, Oakland Roots had definitely started getting into the game then. It's not that we maybe thought that the goal was coming, but they were certainly starting to ask more questions of New Mexico United. First real proper chance. Yeah, there was the half chance, the header from the corner earlier on. And other than that, but yeah, other than that, it's really been very little for them. And New Mexico United, the chances have dried up a little bit. It was that space between the midfield and the back four, a combination of Oakland Roots back four stepping up, so staying connected to their midfield, and just recognizing it was the transition. New Mexico United were just picking off Oakland Roots in transition because they were so spread all over the place, and there was so many gaps to play into. A lot more compact, a lot quicker to react in those transition moments, and New Mexico United found it tough the last 8, 9, 10 minutes to actually create any chances.
37th minute, 1-1 is our score. Goals from Devin Sandoval and Val Fall. See this one tied up. Thanks for hanging out with us. Some Wednesday night USL Championship action. Tyler Ortega alongside Chris Hurst. Whether you're watching on ESPN Plus or statewide here in the state of New Mexico on Estrella TV. Again, we'd like to thank you for hanging out with us. Tete gets that one back. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XMFC 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access with Mike Watts and our special guest commentator from the last game, Devin Kerr, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can also hear live action from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XMFC 157 and the SXM app. Looks like Hernandez was on the receiving end of a tough challenge there. You see this from the TLC replay. And not a whole lot of contact that we can see. I think the crowd has just seen the replay on the big board as well.
Yeah, but you can always tell by the players' reactions. And Sergio Rivas, the fact that he put his hand up to apologise means that there was contact there. I think he just maybe kneed him in, the small of his back, backside kind of area. So yeah, so you can see there was enough contact there for Rivas to at least apologise. So you can't blame him there.
Here comes Guzman. Here comes Moreno now. He's got options. He can find Sandoval. Sandoval spreads it for Najam. Has to cut back on his run, and Najam does well to keep that in play. Moreno now turns. It's another Bank of America corner kick coming up. Armando Moreno has been all over the pitch here through the first 39 minutes, Chris.
Yeah, he's been a thorn in the side, and he definitely was a little quiet for the last 10 minutes. But maybe that goal has just woke up New Mexico United again. Maybe they're getting a little complacent. It was almost a little too easy the first 10 minutes. But now looks like they're back on the charge again.
Here's Suggs playing the in-swinger to the back post, and it's headed away, and in fact, we have a foul called inside the 18.
I think that was called, and I think maybe it was Justin Schmidt was climbing all over the back of someone. I could not see who it was, but it looked like he was trying to get a little height advantage by climbing on the back of someone.
Long ball played for Allen, and it's met by Justin Schmidt. Takahashi now will play it back. There's Clementa, now Green. It's Takahashi out of Japan. Here's the goal scorer, Vol Fall. Playing it up for Amarikwa, who tries to control that, and Yearwood will see it out for a throw. Ward quickly throws it in for the restart. Hernandez. Looking once again for Amarikwa. Nice back heel. Plays Akeem Ward through. And Ward has that one poked away by Yearwood, but Amarikwa gets it back. Crosses that in, and it's Justin Schmidt heading away. Hernandez starting to hear the boo birds raining down, Chris. A little reminiscent of the last two matches we've played here at the lab against El Paso. The defender for El Paso, Yuma, also has long hair like that, and every time he touched the ball over the past couple of matches, you heard 10,000 strong coming out with the boos, and Hernandez, with his theatrics just a few minutes ago, not finding himself on the right side of this black and yellow faithful.
Not sure it was theatrics. Like I say, I actually think it was a free kick, so, you know, a bit unfortunate. I'm sure he's not really that bothered.
Here's Tete. Guzman plays it forward for Suggs. Here's Josh Suggs. Tries to cut it past Akeem Ward and stolen away by Hernandez. And Guzman dispossesses. Guzman now weighing up his options, goes back for Suggs. Scott Sandoval in the box. Sandoval, the goal scorer for New Mexico here tonight. 6th minute, assisted by David Najum. That ball poked away before Josh Suggs can get to it. Here's Tenari. That pass poked away immediately. Allen now. Fasore. Takahashi. It's going to go out for a goal kick. Two of the East's best clash to kick off a fall to remember when the USL on ESPN continues. Perennial contenders Louisville City FC travel to Dillon Stadium to meet Hartford Athletic in a potential playoff preview. That match is September 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Louisville City in Hartford Athletic, two opponents that New Mexico will be playing actually this season. Hartford will be making the trek down to the lab, and New Mexico will be making the trip out to Lynn Family Stadium to take on Louisville in October.
Really is great the way the season set up this year, where obviously it's, you know, it just hasn't been a possibility where any East Coast teams have been able to either get to the lab or New Mexico United faithful watch that league as often, you know, and see teams from that side of the championship. So it's really exciting the way they've got it set up this year.
Well, and that's a sentiment that's been echoed not only by fans, but obviously the coaches and the players as well. You know, you're talking about some special matchups that we've seen so far, some still to come, but you know, New Mexico, they welcomed Charleston Battery to the lab here just last month. We know all about the connections with Troy Lesane, Alex Tambakis, Mike Azira, Zach Prince, a lot of underlined connections in that one. And those matches, like you said, it wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for the realignment of the schedules and whatnot this season. And it's something that everybody has stated that they would like to continue seeing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, tonight, obviously, you know, it's two teams from two different conferences as well. But obviously, you mentioned Charleston Battery. Let's not forget, that's the last time New Mexico United were able to pull off the win.
Corner played in, and it's headed out immediately by Roots. Najum plays it back, looking for Tenari. Brilliant control there by Andrew Tenari. Cuts it back, goes down just outside the box, winning the free kick. That was very, very close to being inside the 18.
That was very close. That was very close. It's almost, you could almost feel the referee put his whistle in his mouth. It was a foul, and then realized how close it was. But you saw straight away he blew for the free kick instead. But you can see probably just about gets that right. It's hard to tell from that angle there, but it's probably just about right. You can see by Tenari's feet are definitely outside the line. So benefit of the doubt there, and very dangerous position for a free kick here for New Mexico United.
A dangerous position. I mean, if you're Sergio Rivas, you're going to hit it with the right foot. You have the option to go for goal, or if you look towards the back post, you have Devin Sandoval back there, Justin Schmidt, Rashid Tete, three guys that we know can elevate and find the ball with their head. It's going to be interesting to see whether it's Suggs or Rivas here on this one. And it is Rivas. Strikes it right-footed, and it fizzles over the crossbar.
It was gonna take a lot of convincing for him not to have a go there. You know, it's so close, so tempting. Was it the right option there? There was a moment where there was a big gap between the wall and the defenders, but Oakland Roots set up really well, forced his hand, and it was so close to the goal. It's really hard to get, if you do go for a delivery for a cross there, it's really hard to get the right pace on it without just missing everyone. So, right decision. Keeper had it covered, wasn't worried, but another shot for New Mexico United there to finish off the half.
And that is the end of the first 45. Goals by Devin Sandoval and Val Fall see this one knotted up, 1 goal apiece. Quick takeaway from the first half there, Chris.
It was, you know, the half was split into a half in my mind. New Mexico United came out of the block so quickly. Oakland Roots then eventually got their goal. Oakland Roots got a foothold in the game, got their goal back, all square, new game in the second half.
Here we see the goal for New Mexico's David Najum connecting with Devin Sandoval, the 3rd goal on the season, and just adding to the tally as the club's leading scorer. And here, of course, upper 90, Valfall, pinpoint accuracy, tying us up at 1. We're going to step aside. We'll be right back.
running, trying to make this thing work. It's running. Yeah, let's go.
For over 50 years, BIOS has been proudly serving New Mexico. We love being a part of this community and the New Mexico United family, and helping everyone from homeowners to home builders create a space that's both beautiful and practical. Shopping local is about more than getting a great deal. It's about supporting your community, your neighbors, your friends. Visit BIOS in Albuquerque and see how shopping local supports your New Mexico community.
We are back here live at the lab in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It is the first meeting between New Mexico United and Oakland Roots. My name's Tyler Ortega, joined by Chris Hurst here this evening. We'd like to remind you that halftime is brought to you by Smith's, fresh for everyone. And Chris, it was a beauty of a strike by Valfall, 34th minute, seeing the equalizer, as we now have a look at some of the news and notes from around the league. This one we've talked about a couple of times already. Chris Wehan, Bees, is back in black and yellow after spending the first half of this season with Orange County. Elsewhere, Tulsa signing former Liga BBVA Mexico League defender, signing for the remainder of the 21st season. That's Milky. And huge news, Chris, coming here out of the Albuquerque City Council meeting just a couple of nights ago. The stadium is going to vote in November, passing through the City Council 7-2.
Yeah, it's not often that we do these halftime shows in New Mexico United. Is two of the three stories we get to talk about. Huge week for the club off the field.
And looking on the field, these are the standings of the Mountain Division. It is El Paso Locomotive leading the pack, sitting with 38 points through 17 games played. RGV sitting in second, a distant second place, 9 points back. But then this is where the clutter happens. RGV, 29 points. Switchbacks in third with 28. Bold in fourth, 25. San Antonio, 24. And New Mexico sitting with 23. It's a big jumbled mess, Chris. And it's basically who wants those third and fourth spots.
Yeah, and you can see that's the carrot dangling in front of New Mexico United tonight. If they can win tonight, they jump all the way up to fourth place. They leapfrog up above Austin Bold, above San Antonio as well. I need to put my teeth back in there. So huge incentive for the boys tonight.
So looking at some scores from around the league, Hartford Athletic beating Charleston Battery 2-1. Bold and RGV drawing 1-1, and Loudon taking victory over Indy 11 2-0. And I think that draw between Bold and RGV is probably best case scenario for New Mexico. Speaking of Austin Bold, New Mexico, they're going to see them twice in the next 5 games. Their next matchup is in Austin at the Circuit of the Americas on the 23rd. Following that, next Saturday, New Mexico travel out to the desert to take on Phoenix Rising. I'm going to be at that one. I can't wait. That's going to be a barn burner.
And I know you're not the only one. That's one of the fixtures that as soon as the list was released, a lot of people marked that on their calendar. So I expect that there's going to be a lot of New Mexico United fans traveling out to that one.
Let's have a look now at the Clear Audio Team of the Week. It is Speedy Williams from the Miami FC as your Player of the Week. We see Nick Hines representing Austin Bold in there as well. And Haji Berry, Chris, the forward for Switchbacks. He cannot stop scoring. It's absurd.
It's absolutely insane, yeah. And, no one could have expected that at the start of the season. I mean, except maybe him. He backs himself. But, yeah, to score that many goals for a team that historically struggles. And you can see Colorado Switchbacks are right in the mix in the Mountain Conference as well.
We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be back to wrap up halftime. Don't go anywhere.
first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
Tees it up, what a strike, and what a goal! Hartford has a goal! And Lou City double their money! And how sweet the sound in Lynn Family Stadium!
A classroom is more than just books and supplies. We believe it's the place to enrich lives. US Eagle has partnered with New Mexico United to create opportunities for kids that budgets don't always allow. The Enrich Ed Classroom program awards 10 grants to K-12 classrooms. If you're a teacher that wants bigger things for your classroom, or if you know someone who is, encourage them to apply online at enrich.education before September 13th.
In New Mexico, we know true beauty, true adventure, true color, and true culture. Home to the artists, the warriors, and the multi-generational, multiracial, all-inclusive family that we call the United. This is New Mexico United, and New Mexico United is New Mexico True.
US Eagle and New Mexico United are bringing opportunities to classrooms that may have never existed.
Plan on using the grant in the classroom so that we can buy robots that the kids can program.
The Enrich Ed Classroom program awards 10 grants to K-12 classrooms. If you're a teacher or know someone who is, encourage them to apply online at enrich.education.
To get this money means the world to me and to my students. Thank you, US Eagle.
Coming to you here live in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Lab. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst, New Mexico United tied with Oakland Roots here at the break. Chris, 1-1. We've talked about the first half. Looking ahead to the second half now, if you're Troy Lesane, what is the talk at halftime?
I think it's about getting back to basics, right? Obviously, this started came out flying out the blocks there, and Oakland Roots couldn't live with them. Have to get back to that. The intensity, the movement, the movement ahead of the ball, most important, was just they just couldn't stop them. And then it stopped. It just got a little bit pedestrian, a little too comfortable for them maybe, and Oakland Roots really sorted out their lines where they really started to clog up the middle of the field and take away some of the space that New Mexico United were living in, and that really slowed the game down for New Mexico United.
And the first half stats are brought to you by Duke City Cares, your medical family. Of course, the most important stat, Chris, the one at the top, it's goals level at 1-1. But New Mexico, they've had the lion's share possession, and more importantly, not only more shots, but the quality of shots and shots on target. Blanchette has been very busy between the sticks.
Yeah, there's no denying Blanchette has absolutely kept them in the game. Possession's interesting. There was one point where it was as high as 65% for New Mexico United after the first 20 minutes of the first half. Oakland Roots really did come back into the game towards the end, and while it's only one shot, in terms of field position, that was a huge swing towards the end of the first half.
And Oakland Roots coming in off of their second win of this season, where they beat LA Galaxy 2-1 on Saturday, looking to take some points here in Albuquerque as we have a look at the first half highlights. And this was the goal scored by the black and yellow. David Najum notching his first assist of this season, finding Devin Sandoval, who scores his third goal of the year, and adding to his tally as the club's leading scorer with 20 career goals here in black and yellow.
Great ball back in by Najum. Second phase, Oakland Roots just didn't pick up Devin Sandoval as they were trying to step up and clear some space for Blanchette, and they paid for it.
You can see Devin Sandoval dreadless, but still scoring goals. And Naj, you can see how excited he is to be back in Albuquerque. And this, the equalizer, sublime from Volfall, the German, dialing that one up. It does go off the hand of Tambakis, Chris.
Does, and you can see it's the pace and the dip. I think that's what does Tambakis there. He almost thinks that it's going to go over the bar, and you can see he kind of shrugs his shoulders there. Could he have done more? Maybe, but he got a good hand to it. He'll be disappointed that he wasn't able to tip that over the bar, but great strike all the same.
We've got a great second half coming up here in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere.
B-Dub's new crispy hand-breaded classic chicken sandwich plus fries for $5.99 is made live in a real-life sports bar with live, non-virtual friends. This is real life. So real it's $5.99 for a limited time. Buffalo Wild Wings.
This one's for all the parents whose idea of a big night out is a 15-minute drive to a takeout window. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
The Labor Day Savings Event is going on now at American Home Furniture and Mattress. Shop and save up to 40% for every room in your home. From the largest selection of in-stock furniture in the state. Living room, bedroom, dining room, patio, area rugs, and more. Plus, take advantage of 24-month financing.
Get your associate's degree in 17 months with C&M Online. A fast degree, no hidden fees, books included, all at an affordable price. All of your courses can be completed online. Take the next step in your career. Get your degree from C&M Online.
Coming to you here live at the lab, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst. Second half about to get underway. The teams are back on the pitch. Oakland roots the visitors in the all-white kits. New Mexico, of course, in the traditional black and yellow. Wearing the Meow Wolf tops this evening. That is Alex Tambakis, the keeper, in green. And if this second half is anything like the first, Chris, we're in for a good one.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with the entertainment, right? The last 3 home games for New Mexico United, so far all ties, but full of incident.
2 of those taking place against rival El Paso as we are underway here with the second half. 1-1 is our score. Devin Sandoval, Fall, the goal scorers. Tenari immediately playing it forward. Here's Moreno now. Tried to poke it through, but an excellent challenge by Akeem Ward. And now Americoa spreads it for Hernandez here on the near side. Back to Green. Kai Green out of Jersey City, New Jersey. Played for San Antonio last year. Played his college ball at Seton Hall. Guzman. Back to Justin Schmidt. Tambakis has to be careful with that one there.
It was really well worked by New Mexico United there. They could have easily panicked and just lumped it up top, but played through the lines and created potentially an opportunity here.
Moreno plays it forward. It was Suggs. He was looking for the through ball. Yearwood for Rivas. Sends the cross in, looking for Moreno at the back post, and disrupted by Takahashi and Blanchett. Back to Tete, the Ghanaian. Rashid Tete making his 9th start on the season here this evening. Yearwood looks to play that one over for the far post, and nobody home.
See a thumbs up by Armando Moreno there. He likes the idea. They were just on completely different wavelengths there. He was, Moreno was thinking that Austin Yearwood was going to go feet into Sandoval's feet, but instead Yearwood was trying to play the ball. And Moreno, again, trying to play on the shoulder of the centre-backs there, Clemente, and that worked a lot in the first half, especially in the first 10 minutes. Clemente had a torrid time trying to pick up Moreno.
You can see his roots have gotten more comfortable here in this match. The chances for New Mexico have dwindled. I'd say about that first 15, 20 minutes, it was just a barrage on Paul Blanchette.
It's a fickle thing, confidence, isn't it? You could see the confidence was just soaring through New Mexico United the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. And then, yeah, as Oakland started to grow in confidence themselves, you could see it just kind of eked away from New Mexico United a little bit, and now it's just a very, very even game. A really good contest. Again, we're back to one of those chess matches at the lab.
Ball played forward for Allen, and he's going to be called for the foul as Yearwood goes to ground. Allen is a big man out there, Chris.
Let's say that is a little bit of a mismatch. Right? Austin Yearwood, he's not a weak guy. He's a strong guy, but in terms of size, I bet you he gives up about 80 pounds there.
Allen kind of looks like a linebacker out there compared to some of the other players. I mean, and Austin Yearwood, we all know he's not the biggest guy on the pitch, right? But the ease that Allen just sat him down with, that tells you just how strong he is. Suggs. Still Suggs. Tried to cut it back from Moreno, but intercepted by Hernandez. Rivas looks to scoop one forward. Finds Moreno. How's your touch, Chris? Here's Moreno. Plays it back now. Suggs. Crosses in, looking for Sandoval. And Takahashi just blasts that away.
Decent chance there. You could see New Mexico United really comfortable in possession, popping the ball around across the back four, and the midfield being very patient in their build-up. But one thing I would love to see personally is, can they get David Najem opened up? Can they get this right side opened up? They're heavily favouring the left-hand side. Josh Suggs is by far the busier player between him and David Najem.
Yeah, just looking at some of the numbers, 48% of the attack for New Mexico going through the left side. That's compared to just 26% on the right side. And if you'll remember, it was Najem on the right side assisting the goal. Moreno goes down atop the 18, winning the foul here, and this is a dangerous position for the Fiesta Auto Group free kick.
Another flashpoint here. We can see where we've got used to seeing those over recent weeks, but you see it just goes through the back. There's no real need. Facing away from goal, doesn't really need to win it there. Gives Moreno the chance to feel the contact and go down there. I don't think there was that much contact, maybe, although he looks like he's limping, so maybe he's going to make me feel guilty on that one. But great opportunity for New Mexico United in a great place here.
It's going to be Rivas and Suggs lining this one up. Rivas already has a free kick goal this season.
From this side of the field, you've got to imagine it's going to be the left foot of Suggs who goes. It definitely favours the left foot.
Suggs has 2 goals on the year himself to go along with 16 shots, 10 of those on target. Coming into this game, he led the team with 51 crosses as well. Blanchette giving direction to his wall. I think he looks for a runner at the back post here if it's Suggs. And it's going to be Rivas actually hitting it into the wall. Just sent away by Emra Clementa. Tambakis out to play sweeper keeper, and Tambakis has to be a little careful there.
Yeah, I think he drew the foul there. He's definitely complaining. It looks like the AR gave it there. Was it a throw in? I guess no one really knows what's going on right now.
It looks like it's a throw.
They are definitely look like he waved his flag as if it was a free kick. Tambakis was definitely asking for that.
And it will be a free kick.
Yeah, he kind of flew into there. You know, he was always going to clear it. He kind of left one on him a little bit. So, but a disappointing free kick from Sergio Rivas there. Again, it really did favour the left foot. Rivas clearly feeling it tonight. He's taken both the free kicks in dangerous areas. So, fair play. But you know, if you're going to take it off the captain and the left footer there, you've got to do better. Unfortunately,
beat the first man is the #1 duty there. Rivas just hit it directly into that wall. And as you said, yeah, sure, he's feeling himself. He's already scored on a free kick so far this season, but his previous attempt in that first half was very close over that crossbar. Sandoval lays it off for Tinari. And now the overlapping run, it was Najam and Rivas getting their feet tangled. Tete with a nice dummy there, letting that one fall to Guzman. Here's Suggs. Down for Moreno. Near side, Armando Moreno. Crosses that one in, and no issue there for Blanchett.
So we talked about momentum and confidence earlier on, and you can just feel something's kind of building for New Mexico United here. They feel like they're getting a foothold again in the game. They're pushing Oakland Roots further and further back.
This ball laid off. Here's Enriquez. In the 18 now. Fall looking to scoop it forward, finds Hernandez. Hernandez crosses, back post! And it's sent over the bar. That was one of the better chances Roots have had here this evening.
That was nearly one of the greatest commentator curses ever. Just saying about how well New Mexico United have started this second half, and straight away Oakland Roots pop up at the far side there. Great ball into the box, and it was Rashid Tete. He had to get there, and he did.
It looks like to be seen a substitute here, and it's number 61, Jonathan Rodriguez, entering into the match. It looks as though he'll be replacing number 29, Brandon Allen. Interesting time for the sub here, Chris. You know, Allen, your number 9, as this cross is played in off the corner. I'm going to say your number 9, he's one of the bigger bodies there. You'd think you would want to keep him in for that corner. And now United looking to counter. Rivas unable to corral that one, and here come Roots. Here's the goal scorer, Fall, has it poked away by Tinari. Hernandez.
These fans do not easily forget, do they?
Absolutely not. Speaking of the fans, got to give a shout out to the Curse and all the other supporters groups here tonight for New Mexico, showing up Wednesday nights. There they are, led by Sombrero Man, who's capoing this evening. You can see the assortment of flags. There's pink flags, yellow flags, some Meow Wolf specialty flags, pride flags, you name it. There's always going to be flags when you come to a New Mexico United match. Here's Amarikwa, shot on goal, and right at Tambakis.
Marquardt just shows his strength there. He's got his back to goal, turns quickly and gets his shot off so quickly as well. Tambakis did really well to get down low there. Lots of power in that shot.
Green will play this back to Blanchett.
Looks like Amarikwa, since Allen's gone off, he's playing more through the middle. Rodriguez maybe moving a little more out wide. Amarikwa was basically hanging out on the right side of that front three, or the two behind the forward there, and it looks like, yeah, he's just going to spearhead it up through the middle now.
Guzman getting a talking to from our official. That is Elton Garcia. with a whistle here this evening. And now the foul called on Andrew Tenari. And all the fluidity that we spoke of in the first half is seemingly gone here, Chris, as we are seeing a choppy game here in the second 45. And looking down at the New Mexico technical area, looks like we're going to see a double change as this one goes into the box. Tete trying to hold off Rodriguez. And he does. It is a corner kick coming up here for Roots. Bank of America corner kick here on the near side. As I was saying, looking down at that technical area, we're seeing 33 and one number 41. You're wondering, that is newly re-signed Chris Wehan. We anticipate will be entering the match here momentarily for New Mexico. But before that, corner kick here for Roots. It's Hernandez to deliver. Plays it in, near post, glanced away. Akeem Ward now receives it. Tries to play it back into the 18. Finds Enriquez. Enriquez marked by Tete. Enriquez crosses. Nobody there for Roots. Najim now plays it up for Rivas. Roots have plenty of men back. No chance for a counter there for New Mexico. Tenari does well to retain possession there. Here's Rivas. He's got Josh Suggs bombing down the flank. Decides to cut it in. Sergio Rivas, he's got Najim on the near side. Finds him. Najim tees it up and just goes wide.
You could see exactly what David Najim was trying to do there. So he had all the time in the world to pick his spot. He almost got a little smile on his face as he tried to pick out that far corner.
And the roar of the crowd as Chris Wehan has been reintroduced. Heading out is Josh Suggs and Andrew Tenari, replacing them number 33, Harry Swartz, and the new number 41, Chris Wehan, making his first appearance at the lab in 669 days, Chris. And there it is. And that in itself getting a roar from the crowd. And you know, Bees, he's got to be buzzing for this.
Oh my goodness, he didn't.
Chance of Yes Wehan erupting from the curse here in the 62nd minute. This ball given away. Fall thought about it. Passes it off for Rodriguez, and it goes back across. Goal line clearance from Tete. And New Mexico may have just dodged a bullet.
Huge bullet dodge. Rashid Tete never gave up on it, didn't want to, was trying to think what if, and found himself on the goal line. Everyone beaten on the line. Great clearance. Well done, Rashid Tete.
Here comes the substitute, Harry Swartz. The substitutions of Swartz and Wehan, brought to you by REDW CPAs and Advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. Takahashi goes back to Blanchette. And I mentioned Wehan's first game back at the lab, 669 days. That goes all the way back to October 19th of 2019, Chris. That was the season finale of the first year for New Mexico United. Wehan did play with the club in 2020. However, due to local health regulations, the Black and Yellow unable to play any games at home Sandoval finds Swartz. Loads of space for Harry Swartz. Dishes it back. Chris Wehan. The catalyst for so much here through the first couple of seasons. Crosses that in. Green is there to head it away. Falls to Najam. Najam looking back post and just goes past the outstretched foot of Harry Swartz.
Great play by New Mexico United. Chris Wehan pops the ball into the box. Recycle by David Najam. Harry Schwartz popping up at the back post there. Just out of his reach. As you can see, dives over it. Enough pressure on him as well to put him off. Really good defending in the end. But again, a little spark has been introduced. Look at the depth now that New Mexico United can bring off the bench. Bringing someone like Harry Schwartz and Chris Wehan off the bench. It's you know, they were looking a little thin on the ground due to injuries over the past, say, month, let's say, and now they're really starting to build that squad and get where they can have some game changers on the bench.
Well, and if you ask Troy Lesane, he'll tell you this is the best squad that he's had in the 3 years here at New Mexico, and that's a sentiment that's been echoed by the players as well. Chris Wehan being one of them. That's something that he mentioned in the press conference just yesterday. When asked, he said, you know, it's going to be tough to find my place in the team because this is the best team we've had. And, you know, the depth is something that we speak about quite often, Chris. But, you know, comparing season 1 to this season when you're bringing guys in off the bench like Kenny Akamatsu or a Tommy Madden, and that's obviously no disrespect to those guys, but they don't have the pedigree of a Chris Wehan or a Harry Swartz, who has been a fantastic addition to this squad this season.
Yeah, and it's interesting hearing Chris Wehan talking about being the new guy when
right.
it just doesn't feel that way. Like to anyone, like to us right now, it feels weird talking about Chris Wehan as the new guy.
Wehan opting to move back home to Orange County following the conclusion of the 2020 season. New Mexico coming to an agreement for his transfer with OC. It is reportedly believed to be the largest transfer in USL Championship history from USL club to USL club. And now we see Ilya Illich replace Devin Sandoval for New Mexico. This will be Illich's 13th appearance for the black and yellow this season. He scored his first goal for New Mexico in the 94th minute versus Colorado Springs here on July 9th. Be looking to add to that tally. Now, if you would have told a New Mexico United fan, Chris, at this point last year, that next year they would be watching a game, Chris Wehan's already in, but another player subs on who wears number 14. Hernandez lays that off for Akeem Ward. Ward now looking far post, but it's Tambakis coming out to grab that one. Here comes Harry Swartz. Almost loses his footing there. Tete. Wehan. There's Illich. Back for Chris Wehan. Looks to turn. Wehan. And has it cleared away by Clementa. And you can feel, Chris, the tension starting to rise here in the lab. 67 minutes in.
I nearly made it. It's not a joke, but see, you can feel like the buzz every time Wehan touches the ball. That's nothing to do with his name.
Najam.
But you can feel like the anticipation from the crowd there. The ball, you can just see like how many goals he scored for New Mexico United. Like, I think they got in the playoffs against San Antonio where the ball just kind of bobbled to him. May or may not have been a handball, but just those moments, and that just looked a little bit like it. Where was it going to fall to his foot where you could just have a pop from there?
We don't talk about that here, Chris. Of course, it was Chris Wehan scoring the goal against San Antonio in the playoffs last year to give New Mexico their first playoff win. Here comes Sergio Rivas. Tries to poke it through, finds Illich, back heels for Moreno, but the offside flag is up. It was Illich that was offside before he played it back to Moreno. And the 6,000 plus here at the lab thought they had just seen the go-ahead goal.
It was decent build-up there. You could see he probably was just offside, but the movement, again, the chemistry we talked about in the first half, you can see, again, you can feel that it just feels like the momentum is definitely with New Mexico United right now. And that's not saying Oakland Roots aren't having their chances, but they are absorbing a lot of pressure right now. New Mexico United 66% possession in the second half. And, you know, that's a lot of work at this altitude for Oakland Roots to defend constantly without the ball. So last 10, 15 minutes here, expect another big push by New Mexico United.
Well, and speaking of the altitude, that's something, you know, that we really haven't touched on, Chris, but the Roots obviously coming from the Bay Area, sea level. They're out here in Albuquerque, which in some places in town, it's over a mile high in elevation. Roots actually came out a couple days early just so they can get some training sessions in, get acclimated to the altitude. I don't know exactly how much a couple of days is going to help you out, but it's something that they found big enough to factor in. Played forward for Moreno and scoops it forward over the net. New Mexico knocking on the door.
I think it was Ward there, just gave him a little tap or a little nudge, a little push on his shoulder, which just did enough to put off Moreno there. That was a great opportunity there.
We have another look at this one, just golfed forward there. Moreno.
See, just gives him a little tug on his shoulder there. Maybe got away with one as well. You know, if that was in another country with VAR, I'm sure they'd be looking at it. But yeah, it's he just did enough to put him off.
Comes David Najum, lays it off now for Sergio Rivas. Guzman. Far side for Harry Swartz. Here's Swartz into the 18, lays it off. Illich. Falls to Najum now. Heavy first touch and he's dispossessed. Yearwood there to gather that and he loses possession. And that ball goes out. It's going to be a throw-in for New Mexico. Mentioned the substitute earlier, Johnny Rodriguez entering for Roots. This is his USL Championship debut. Wehan lays it off for Swartz. So we did see a couple of substitutions about a minute ago for Oakland Roots. Those were number 2, Ariel Mumba, and number 91, Johannes Harish. Harish, Oakland native. Scored last match against Los Dos in the 26th minute, which proved to be the deciding goal in that 2-1 win. Here's Fall. Tried to find Akeem Ward there. David Najum to throw in. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ plus community. Through the Forever Proud project, the USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, staff, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud. Moreno Getting a talking to. We have been told that tonight's attendance, 6,047 here at the Lab. Chris, we've talked about how wonderful this crowd has been tonight, and you see them showing up night after night. Just incredible stuff.
Yeah, it's incredible, especially, like we say, for Wednesday night, first full week of school.
Oh, and this one falls to a dangerous area, but it's Rashid Tete stepping in to poke that away. Here comes Chris Wehan. Looking for Ilya Illich, and it's Green heading that one away. It looks like the sub, Harish, is sitting just underneath that top line. Mumba, the other sub, has nestled in over on the far side. I will say, for as beautiful as these Oakland Roots kits are, a little tough to see the numbers on the back from our vantage point. We ask you, cut us a little slack if we get one wrong.
Rather you than me, man.
Goes off of Guzman. Roots, we're asking for a handball, not going to get it.
Special mention for Rashid Tete's tackle just a couple of moments ago there. I don't think defending gets enough credit. Fully committed, no nonsense, knew he had to win it, ball man, and sprung an attack. And kind of got New Mexico United out of a little bit of a jam. Won his first tackle, then the ball got away from him. And yeah, let's say fully committed and ball man and both. He got both of them and managed to spring Wehan down the right-hand side. So as a former centre-back, I love to see that.
Here's Yearwood, looking far post. Swartz laying chase to that, but not going to get there.
You see the movement ahead of the ball there. It's just a little disappointing. Like, you know, Austin Yearwood had a lot of time and space, so he was going to be able to pick his pass there, and there was just no reaction in the box. There was just no movement. There was no change of speed, anything like that, trying to drag defenders around. It was just a little stagnant in there.
Here's Blanchette to send it away as we enter the 76th minute. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on the call this evening. 1-1 so far between Oakland Roots and New Mexico. This is the first time these two clubs have played each other. It's Oakland making the trip out to the Duke City, the land of enchantment here in New Mexico. As this one almost gets away. Played back to Tambakis, and he has to send it long. That is Troy Lassane giving some instruction to his players. What do you think he's saying here, Chris?
He's just asking for a little more. It has. It's just gone a little flat, so you can see they're going to go to the subs bench again. I think it looks like Chelo Martinez. So just adding something different, a little extra spark, a little more creativity in midfield there, because it's just gone a little flat the last couple of minutes there. And New Mexico United, 3 ties in a row. They don't want to add a fourth.
Well, and speaking to that, looking down at the technical area, it looks like we're going to see Chelo Martinez entering in for the black and yellow. We're hearing that David Najim will be replaced. So Troy Lassane, he's pulling out all the stops here to walk away with 3 points here tonight.
That's interesting. If it's Martinez for Najem, you'll see maybe either a formation change or starting to move some guys around, whether Rivas drifts out wide, Wehan drifts out wide, however they decide to do that.
Yeah, and just from what I can see here, what makes sense to me, I mean, I know Harry Swartz really likes to get forward, but without Swartz falling back, you're playing with a back 3 with Yearwood, Schmidt, and Tete, and having Chelo out on the flank. We'll see how things progress here in this one. supporters groups have stayed loud here for the first 78 minutes, and I'm sure they're going to continue to do so. Sector 114, the Set Piece Ultras, the Black Diamonds, La Maldición, and of course the Curse. It's great to see the supporters culture, Chris, continuing to grow here in New Mexico. They started out hot in year one. The Curse was everywhere, and now you're starting to see these different supporters groups popping up, just speaking to the impact that this club has made in this community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it is. It's great to see, you know, because there doesn't need to be a syndicate on supporters groups. That's for sure. You know, like not everyone wants to beat to the same drum, but at the same point, everyone wants to support the club in various different ways. So it's really great to see.
Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up here. Valfall having some words with Clementa.
Substitution brought to you by RPB Libby, entering the match. For Oakland, number 4, Max Arson. For number 25, Quincy Marquardt.
So we're going to see a couple of subs here once again for Oakland Roots, and it is Max Ornstill checking in. He's up for goal of the week following his banger against LA Galaxy 2, the Oakland native, setting foot onto the pitch here for the first time in Albuquerque. Also entering is number 10, that is Lindo Mafeka. So both coaches, Chris, not afraid to go to the bench. And Guzman goes down, and he is not happy about that. The official not keen on letting them get the quick restart. Wehan able to come back in possession. It feels weird saying that again, I will say. Wehan gets it back into Illich. Back for Wehan. Moreno now plays it back. Wehan chips it. This ball just bouncing around. And eventually Roots able to clear the danger. Rodriguez in his USL Championship debut tries to go one-on-one with Tete, and Tete wins.
Tete has been an absolute brick wall tonight. Literally, the goal line clearance like a brick wall, but also defensively there, completely isolated, completely on an island. Rodriguez gets past him there. He's got a free run on goal, and Tete doesn't bite on the first move, just stands his ground, keeps his feet moving, wins the ball. Brilliant defending.
Tete, you're talking about a guy that was voted as the Rookie of the Year by his teammates in Season 1 here for United in 2019. Able to work his way back into the 18. Here comes Chelo Martinez. He's got options, lays it off. Wehan just behind him.
Just thinking right now, look at the attacking pieces on the field for New Mexico United. Chelo Martinez, Amanda Moreno, Illich, Wehan, Rivas, Schwartz. They've got all guns blazing for the final 10 or so minutes here. A lot of things for Oakland Roots to think about.
Here's Illich. And while the total shot numbers keep going up for New Mexico, the shots on target do not. They've got 0 shots on target here in this second half so far, with 4 total shots. Martinez looking for Moreno, but that's cut out by Green. Mumba scoops that one forward. Harish plays it out. Rodriguez has that poked away and cleared away by Yearwood. Less than 10 minutes remaining. Is there a winner in the cards? And now the official stops play to issue a yellow card to Armando Moreno. Must have said something.
He has to have said something, and what a time to do it. Chris Wehan was away there, absolutely away at the back four. It's he has to have said something, because the way the yellow card came out, the referee definitely meant that one.
A yellow card brought to you by Roadrunner Law Firm. When you've been fouled in a car crash, call your legal home team, Roadrunner Law Firm. As we get a look here at that replay, and you can see that the challenge comes in a little bit late, and Moreno he throws an arm back.
Moreno felt that he was fouled there, and I'd have to agree, but the referee was playing on, but then he's had a little nibble as he runs away, like you say, a little stiff arm to his chest, and the referees thought that's big enough for a yellow card, which is interesting.
I mean, the intent was there. Moreno knew exactly what he was doing. Tete able to work his way out of the trap there. Swartz into Illich. Turns Illich, showing the skill from the forward. Here comes Rivas now. Plenty of options. Martinez crosses in, finds Wehan, top of the 18, cuts it back. Rivas looking for Illich. It's headed away by Takahashi. Swartz now plays that one in, flicked on, falls far post, Martinez chests it. Rivas now. Roots doing very well to keep those attempts away from Blanchette.
Just see for a moment there, Vol, he looked really leggy there when he was trying to come back, and Harry Schwartz beat him to the ball. Wondering if the altitude is starting to kick in. He's got his hands on his knees right now, just watching, just trying to catch a second wind here, possibly.
And this is where you're going to see that altitude starting to play a factor, Chris. With kickoff nearly 2 hours ago. The boys from the Bay perhaps starting to get a little winded here. Played forward to Moreno. Finds Swartz. He's got loads of space on the far side. Here's Harry Swartz. Lays it off to the Colombian, Juan Pablo Guzman. Now over to Chelo Martinez. Here's Chelo. Back to Rivas. Tried to scoop that forward, headed away by Clementa. Fantastic work from Clementa there. Read that one like a book. Up for Johnny Rodriguez, and Yearwood wins the foot race to that.
Yeah, it was good defending for sure, but New Mexico United, they're playing very narrow in attack. It's a little too easy for Oakland Roots. They really just have to defend the width of the 18-yard box. There's another 20-25 yards that they're not having to worry about. I'd love to see Harry Schwartz, Chelo Martinez, Chris Wehan's drifted out on the left side right now. Can they drive the end line? Can they make Oakland Roots defend the full width of the field? Create some space in the middle. It's just a little too compact in the middle of the field right now.
Well, look at all the playmakers that are on the pitch right now for Troy Lesesne as Martinez tries to play that across the box. Illich in there causing some headaches for Roots. Martinez heads it for Wehan. Tried to lay it off for Moreno, and they just ran out of space. But as I was saying, look at all of these attacking options. Here comes Rivas once again. You've got Rivas, Illich, Moreno, Wehan, Chelo, Swartz. Troy Lesesne throwing everything but the kitchen sink here tonight.
Yeah, but again, you can see it's all that they're all interchanging passes, all within 5-6 yards of each other. You know, it's just a little too tight. They need to try and find a little extra space.
Martinez off the volley, and it's up across, over the crossbar. Excuse me. What a worldie that would have been. Ambitious from Martinez there.
You see, it sat up nice for him, and he thought, why not, right? Like they've been trying to play through Oakland Roots, and Oakland Roots, their back four, their midfield, just so tight and so compact. So Chelo Martinez, see the ball just sits up nicely for him, so he thinks, why not? Has a pop. It wasn't a million miles away. He hit it on its way up, so it continued up. But hopefully for New Mexico United, that makes Oakland Roots step out a little higher, maybe create a little space behind them now.
Into the 88th minute we go. New Mexico searching for the go-ahead goal. And I think if you're Roots here, Chris, I think you'd probably be content with a draw.
Oh, 100%. 100%. All the travel this week and coming here, the altitude. It's another game where they've gone on to make it 3 games unbeaten, which they haven't been able to do so far as a USL Championship side.
Foul wand there by Oakland, and looks like Mumba and Clementa will stand over this. Clementa is going to take this quickly, looking back, post, offside flag is up. Johannes Harish getting into the 18, causing some problems. Akeem Ward to throw in here for Roots. Playing it across, it's Fall. He gets it back, and the shot is blocked by Rashid Tete. New Mexico, Chris, sitting with 23 points here in the Mountain Division. Coming into this one, 6 wins, 6 losses, 5 draws.
Uh-oh.
Mumba turns. Here's Fall. Plays that forward, cutting it back, and now Tete is there. Tete has been lights out this evening.
He's been exceptional. Like every time how many times have you said his name and he hasn't put a foot wrong? He hasn't put a foot wrong all night.
And that is the form that saw Rashid Tete have a regular starting spot over the past couple of seasons. Into the 90th minute we go, and we have been informed that there are 3 minutes of New Mexico Piñon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee, Chris, is a matter of opinion. The USL's elite pre-professional platform, the USL Academy, allows clubs to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together top local youth talent and helping players transition to their USL senior teams. For more information, visit usl-academy.com. Moreno, United searching for the game winner. We saw a 97th minute equalizer here by El Paso just 4 days ago. We've seen New Mexico score twice in stoppage time to beat Switchbacks. So there's no denying that we've witnessed some late game magic here on this pitch. Question is it in the stars for tonight?
I refuse to answer that rhetorical question. To answer your question about will Roots be happy with the tie, you could see there the player on the ground there couldn't see who it was. He was in a heap as the ball rolled into him. Juan Pablo Guzman trying to get the game restarted as quick as possible, and he just punches the ball away.
Blanchette drives this one to the top of the 18 of New Mexico. And if you're Roots, this is exactly the position that you want the ball in, as far away from your own net as possible.
There's an awful lot of New Mexico United fans sitting very uneasy right now, remembering what happened on Saturday.
Bank of America corner kick coming up here. Played into the box near post. It's headed away. Moreno comes down with it. Moreno surrounded by 5 white kits, somehow able to wiggle out. Swartz is begging for it. Pass played long for him now. He's got Illich and Wehan offering support. Finds Tete now. Tete plays it for Illich and just out of the Serbians' reach. It was Illich scoring the second insurance goal in stoppage time against Switchbacks a month ago here on this very goal that United are attacking, and Blanchette will stick a foot through it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the full-time whistle here at the Lab. Goals from Devin Sandoval canceled out by a free kick banger from Valfall in the 34th minute. Sees this one end at 1 goal apiece, Chris.
It's another tie, and you can see New Mexico United players look dead on their feet right now. They're really disappointed. They feel like they did enough to win this game, and based on the stats, I know the stats don't tell the whole story, but based on the stats, you've got to say they probably did do enough to win this game. So, disappointing result for New Mexico United. Great result on the road for Oakland Roots.
Tonight's play of the game was Devin Sandoval's goal that was assisted by David Najam. Devin Sandoval also taking home the Man of the Match honors presented by Pepsi. And the save of the match was Rashid Tete's goal line clearance. And there was Devin Sandoval with the Michelob Ultra play of the match. Who knew that that would have been the only goal that we saw scored by New Mexico tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to say it started like a house on fire. What a great ball in by Najem that was. Really great ball in. Devin Sandoval unmarked 6 yards out. That's not what you want to do. Any teams playing against New Mexico United, you don't want to leave Devin Sandoval unmarked 6 yards out. But yeah, special mention to Rashid Tete. Save of the match, and like a brick wall at the back there today.
So we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back to wrap things up here at the Lab. Don't go anywhere.
B-Dub's new crispy hand-breaded classic chicken sandwich plus fries for $5.99 is made live in a real-life sports bar with live non-virtual friends. This is real life. So real it's $5.99 for a limited time. Buffalo Wild Wings.
This one's for every sports fan who just spent the entire game explaining to someone the entire game.
For generations, we've watched the seasons change. My great-grandfather helped build this railroad. There's something special about fall in New Mexico. The aspens, cottonwoods, and oaks. There's nothing else like it, really.
Back at the Lab, full-time, New Mexico 1, Oakland Roots 1. And I think you can feel it from up here, Chris, in the press box. It's a little bit disappointing here for the home side.
Yeah, you're right. You can absolutely sense it from fans, from the players. The players' reaction as the full-time whistle. If anyone had just kind of peeked over the fence and tried to guess what the score was, by the reaction of the players, they might have said New Mexico United might have lost.
Tonight's full-time stats brought to you by Duke City Cares, your medical family. Of course, the most important one is the top one. It's goals, 1 apiece. New Mexico, however, had 3 times as many shots, twice as many shots on target, 60% possession, Chris. Just couldn't find the back of the net for the second time.
Yeah, and it's been a bit of a theme, obviously. You know, it's another game where they have got the goal, you know, so they broke that duck. That's 2 games in a row. Now it's getting the balance right between keeping it tight at the back and being able to score goals at the other end. And yeah, another game where they've had a lot of the ball and not quite being able to find the breakthrough at the top end of the pitch.
Looking ahead for New Mexico, their next game is going to be on Monday night, as they will be at the Circuit of the Americas taking on Austin Bold. As we have a look at the upcoming schedule around the league, Red Bulls 2 hosting Charleston Battery on Friday, and Charlotte Independence hosting fellow Mountain Division squad Switchbacks FC. That's going on Saturday. San Antonio and Real Monarchs doing battle Saturday as well, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then a big one between first place El Paso and second place RGV. That's the nightcap on Saturday night. And again, we're talking about the upcoming schedule. Monday night, New Mexico at Austin, followed by a Saturday game out in Phoenix. That is going to be a big one, Chris. New Mexico, they have to start picking up some points.
Yeah, and we can see how tight the Mountain Division is. That's a huge game against Austin Bold. So yeah, big week coming up for New Mexico United.
Elsewhere for Roots, they're going to be venturing out to Cashman Field, taking on Las Vegas Lights on Saturday. So that's going to do it for us here at the Lab. 1-1, your full-time score in the first ever meeting between Roots and New Mexico United. For Chris Hurst, my name is Tyler Ortega. Thank you for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.